The Nintendo Wii U's one insurmountable flex has finally went the way of the dodo bird because they're finally getting the long-awaited port of Xenoblade Chronicles X. This is defense mode switching to attack mode, and it was just 6 measly years ago where the director and creator of Xenoblade pretty much said, you know, we would love to have a port of Xenoblade Chronicles X, but it would be so much, it would cost too much money, and we have to change everything, and blah, 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 blah. I always thought that was a dumb excuse, because I'm like, why don't you just, like, it's gonna cost, no matter how much it costs to actually do all that shit and rearrange everything, because it was, like, specifically made for the Wii U. It's not the only game that was specifically made for the Wii U. Every single Wii U game was specifically made with the Wii U, with, like, some kind of gamepad I can't think of the word right now, but, like, interaction. That's the word that's hitting my head, but you know what I mean. Like, the game was like pretty much heavy focus on the gamepad, and every single game, like almost every game of significance on the Wii U has been ported elsewhere. Every single one. They've all figured it out. Yes, I know Xenoblade Chronicles that kind of depended more heavily on the gamepad than other games, but it's still like, it's not like it was the only one. There's plenty of games that interact with the gamepad exclusively, and they're still able to make their ports. So it's like, how would you rather waste money on a brand new game, or would you rather waste money just fixing up a game that's already made, where the storyline is already made? All you gotta do is pretty it up, upscale it up, and fix, how to make it interact with the Switch instead of the gamepad, and that's it. It's like, while you're in the transitional period of after Xenoblade Chronicles, it was back in 2018, right after 2. So they immediately went to 3. But it's like, you could grab a section of your team to just work on the port, and have everyone else work on 3. And now we're in the grace period where 3 already came out last year, and now we're getting this port next year. So like, yeah, you guys should have been done this. I don't know why you're waiting until the absolute end of the Switch's life cycle, the Switch 2 announcement. Everyone is pretty much just waited. Everybody is waiting, including me, just waiting on the freaking tippy toes with the freaking fingers in their mouth, just waiting for the Xenoblade. I'm fucking up today. Waiting for freaking the Switch 2 to be announced. We're just begging and waiting for it. We're dying for the Switch 2 to be announced. And you guys decide now at the end of the Switch's life cycle, it's probably going to be either one of the last games to even come out for the Switch at this point. And you're taking this long for the Switch 2 to come out. You're taking this long for the Switch to come out. You still haven't made an announcement. It's already about to be November. And now we got Xenoblade Chronicles X coming out for the Switch. I would like to know when they started remaking this port, because the fact that it's coming out, it has to be the end, because we all think that the Switch 2 is coming out like around the same time. The Switch came out like in April. So like, it's expected that the Switch 2 is going to come around the same time, because the original Switch was announced around October, November, and then by April it was out. So people are expecting the Switch 2 to be announced any minute, and that is going to come out around April. But now I'm starting to think maybe that's not the case, unless the Switch 2 really does get announced this month in November. If it don't, I don't really think it's going to hit that April release date. It might come out either in the middle, maybe in the summer, maybe June, July, August, or whatever. So I'm not too sure. So we don't really know for sure if there's like one of the last games for the Switch. Because for all we know, we can get a few more games that come out for the... I think there's still games to be released on the Switch. So I'm not even too sure. Like, we all know that Metro Prime has to come out for the Switch too. But the Prime Beyond, whatever it's called, that has to come out for the Switch too. And any other big games like that will be on the Switch too. We already got 2 Splatoons, a Mario Kart 8 port, a whole bunch of things that came from the Wii U onto the Switch. This would be like the last one. And the funny thing is, now every single Xenoblade game that's ever come out is now available on the Switch. And because the Switch 2 is backwards compatible, then there won't be a big deal that the Xenoblade X port just being one of the last ports for the Switch. We got Xenoblade 2, Xenoblade 3, we got Xenoblade 1 Definitive Edition, now we got X Definitive Edition. Every single Xenoblade game has been up for the Switch now. And it's funny, the last remaining reason for you to own a Wii U has now been decimated, obliterated, has been eviscerated off of the face of the earth. You no longer need a reason to own a Wii U, or to even have a Wii U emulator at this point. If you have a Switch, which most likely you do, there's just no reason anymore. I mean, what reason do you need now? I mean, we got, the Mario game 3D World or whatever. If you want to play that, we got the port with Bowser's Fury. Like, every single game that came on the Wii U, is the same exact thing has come out on other consoles or on the Nintendo Switch, or came on Nintendo Switch like enhanced and better. The best-selling game on the Wii U, Mario Kart 8, Switch has Mario Kart 8 Deluxe with an actual battle mode with its own battle mode stages, not just using the normal race stages in battle mode, but their own exclusive battle mode stages. So it's the better version. Think of another Wii U game that you really like. What about, I really like the Wonderful 101. That's on the Switch, along with a bunch of other consoles. Think of another one, Rayman Legend. I remember when I first got the Wii U, no games were coming out. It took like 8 months after the Wii U came out and I got New Super Mario Bros. U. Finally, freaking Rayman Legends came out. That's been ported to every other console in the Galaxy at this point. New Super Mario Bros. U. Well, guess what? We got New Super Mario Bros. Wonder on the Switch, which is already a better version than the Wii U version because it has different abilities that the Wii U one doesn't have. Splatoon. The Splatoon, out of all the Splatoon games, Splatoon 1 is the one with the least amount of things to do, the least amount of like weapons and stuff, and you mostly play Splatoon for the online, right? You're not going to be able to play anybody online on the fucking Wii U. So if you want, unless you're just nostalgic for the first Splatoon, Splatoon 3 are better than the first one, so you don't really need to own a Wii U for that. What else do you got? And if you're a big JRPG fan, the main two games that are exclusive on the Wii U that you really wanted to play were Tokyo Mirage Sessions and Xenoblade Chronicles X. Well, 4 years ago, Tokyo Mirage Sessions got ported over there to the Switch, which I own and I'm still trying to beat. And then we got Xenoblade Chronicles X finally coming. That was the one last remaining game on the Wii U to play. I even got, I forgot what it's called, Zemo, I think, or some shit. Maybe this is the Xbox one. The Wii U emulator is what I'm talking about. I was actually going to figure out a way to play Xenoblade Chronicles X on my Steam Deck. Because I heard that there's a way you could, like, download it and then, like, download a certain version that makes it playable, where you can actually, like, play it on your Steam Deck as well. Use the Steam Deck as pretty much the Wii U gamepad and play it on your TV. And I was looking into that. I didn't download the game yet, but I was looking into it. But now, the one remaining reason to freaking play the Wii U is finally gone, even as an emulator. There's no reason to freaking play the Wii U as an emulator or as just buying the old console. There's no reason at all. None whatsoever. Every single game that's worth its salt that came on the Wii U has came out everywhere else. And Xenoblade Chronicles X was the last remaining holdover, the last remaining reason to play that freaking console. And now that's been removed because it's coming on the Switch. Making the Wii U 110%, no money back guaranteed, useless at this point. There's no reason to own a Wii U no more. Unless you're just nostalgic and want to own a Wii U because you're bored. It's a Tuesday afternoon and you're bored and you just want to own it. But besides that, there is no reason to own it no more. The last remaining reason was Xenoblade Chronicles X, and that reason has been taken off your fucking hands. Just get a fucking Switch. All the games you want to play on the freaking Wii U, they're on the Switch. Oh, but Bayonetta 2 was tremendous. It came out for the Switch, along with its sequel. You love Splatoon? It has 2 sequels on the Switch. But I like the Mario game, 3D World. It came out for the Switch along with Bowser's Fury, which is better than freaking 3D World. Breath of the Wild came and its sequel came out on the Switch. The Breath of the Wild was a dual port, so you can't even use that. The Mario game and Zelda games have been ported. All the Xenoblade game has been ported. Tokyo Mirage, if you're a big JRPG fan, Tokyo Mirage Sessions has been ported. The Wonderful 101 Rayman Legends is in every other console. You could get that at any other. You could get that on other consoles. Is what I'm trying to say. Mario Kart 8, the best-selling game, though, one of the few games that actually made the Wii U sell a few measly copies, was ported onto the Switch like the month after it got released. Unless you like owning a big, giant, portable version of the Switch that's very big and clumsy and can't be fucking taken anywhere outside of your fucking living room, then you have no reason. You're just a nostalgic bitch that just wants to be nostalgic for the Wii U because why not? You have no more excuses and no more reasons to own that fucking console, to even emulate that console. The last remaining reason is done. I was actually going to look into trying to get the Xenoblade Chronicles X on my Steam Deck and figure out how to freaking mess with it and go online and try to figure out how to make my Steam Deck turn into a gamepad and blah. Well, I no longer have to do that no more. I'ma just wait until March 25th to get my hands on the freaking Xenoblade Chronicles X. I'ma buy it. So that's basically it. But I'm glad the Xenoblade Chronicles X is finally coming. It was like the closest thing to Xenogears that they've ever done. Ever since he made Xenogears, he's never been able to make the sequel. The Squaresoft said it didn't sell well enough and didn't want to make one. He left to make Xenosaga. Then we eventually got Xenoblade and Nintendo bought him out. We've never got anything close to Xenogears ever since, until Xenoblade Chronicles X. That's the closest thing to Xenogears we've ever gotten. The closest we've ever gotten to get a sequel to Xenogears is freaking... And it's hilarious, because Xenogears is very story-driven, and Xenoblade Chronicles X is anything but story-driven. It's very side-quest-driven, There's only one area with a city, and it's kind of like that, and in a lot of ways it's kind of similar and very opposite to what Xenogears was. But if you love Xenogears like I did, it's the closest thing you're ever going to get to it in a modern way of playing Xenogears-like game. Like pretty much a robot mech RPG kind of game like Xenogears was. The closest you're ever going to get. I never beat Xenoblade Chronicles X. Once I got to the robot that getting the scales, it's called the dolls in Japan. Once I got my hands on the scales, that's around the time I stopped playing it because I forgot why I stopped playing it. I think the Switch is already on the horizon at that point, and whatever excuse I can insert. But I never beat that game, and I always wanted to go back and beat it. Just like I had to go back and what game did I have to go back and beat? It's either Xenoblade or Last Story. I forgot which one. But I always wanted to go back and beat it. I beat every Xenoblade game except that one. Well, that and 3, but I'm gonna beat 3. So now I gotta make sure I beat 3 before this one. But I always wanted to go back and play it to see if I can beat it. And now I'm gonna get my chance. I no longer need to emulate the Wii U for that anymore. I can emulate all my other consoles, but I don't need to emulate that no more because that was the one reason I got the Wii U. That was the one game that made me feel like I finally don't regret owning this fucking console finally. You know, Zelda didn't come when the Switch came out. The Mario 3D World was alright, but it felt more like a side Mario game than a main Mario game. A lot of games came on the console at this point. Splatoon was cool, but it wasn't enough to me for like, I appreciate owning this fucking console for this game. Not one game made me feel like that except for X. X felt like the one true game where a developer made a game for the Wii U that pretty much put in all their effort and made you feel like this is the kind of game that made me proud that I own this console. Every other game I played on the Wii U, I was like every last one of them. Even Mario Kart 8 didn't feel complete until it came on the Switch with the proper battle mode stages. So it was the one game that made me feel, even though I was kind of disappointed with the whole story, the story not being that too much side quests, only having one city to go to, but whatever. That was the one game that made me appreciate owning that fucking Wii U. And now I'm finally getting it ported, so I'm happy. Now all we need is a port of the last story, and I can finally leave this planet happy. But next to the last story, this is the one port I wanted the most, and we're finally getting it, so I'm a happy camper. The attack mode is back to the fence, I'm out. Peace.